This podcast is in relation to HR personal development, which a HR personnel needs to equip himself to grow in the chosen career path. And this has made professional learning very vital as to develop a progressive HR who are dynamic in their operations. If I Ifeanyi okay, I'm here to share my life event experience. Trauma is a life event that has triggered my narcissism character and has led to lack of empathy towards other people. I honestly want to accept that my personality has greatly influenced my behaviors and actions. My friends consider me as a high functioning individual that leave a positive first impression. I am viewed as often hardworking, charismatic, and full of ideas, and also able to infect others with my enthusiasm. Although this is true, what they don't know is that I can manipulate, gaslight, and lie unremorsefully just to protect my standing. I have an obsessive need for admiration where I need to be admired by others and also to be regarded as special by my peers and other people who find themselves around me. I'm skilled at designing what keeps me going and manipulate it to my favor. But why all this? It is all to protect my fragile sense of self and my trait of narcissistic personality disorder. I think that this disorder developed as a result of overprotective parenting, excessive parental criticism, and neglect, which greatly had an impact in my childhood growth. In response, I exhibit narcissism as a psychological defense to criticism. I can also imagine being neglected and always behave in a way that I believe will give me attention. In most cases, I find myself on the receiving end of the rage of narcissistic outburst. I know that at some point in my career and life, I will be most likely find myself alongside people who will be victim of my character. I pity them because it will be tricky navigating those waters since some of them will easily get burnt easily when they trust me. I foresee myself luring them into my world and I will be worried and to disappoint them for whatever reason they will have injected into my psyche. It will be pointless arguing with me to see their point. The narcissism has clouded my real self and I'm molded into an individual and requires constant praise. Despite how confident I may portray myself from outside, I want to confess that I am quite vulnerable and also insecure. As I mentioned before, I have fragile self-esteem and I require near constant praise, admiration, and attention to continually prop myself up. I just expect to be recognized as a superior person, even after achieving nothing that warrants praise. This grandiosity trait, which is characterized by a heightened sense of my self-importance, I have a low self-esteem and thus need to be superior to other people. I see people with things which I lack as a trait to me. Example, status, tangible items, and admirations. I can't understand the reason why I have lacked all things I want when I want them and thus seek vengeance on those who who look like satisfied. Because of my fragile ego or nature of narcissism, I find myself very reactive to criticism. Any comment that is likely to shine spotlight on my flaws or insecurities is likely to be met with narcissistic rage. From the character I've exhibited to my friends and those around me, I have ended up in a mix of feelings. I sometimes feel disappointed at myself on how I've treated other people. I feel guilty for the things that have happened to me in the past and how people have viewed me, unlike other people who are remorseful. I also experience this feeling, though differently from my peers. My decreased level of empathy does not necessarily translate to lack of empathy, although some narcissists that are commonly labeled as narcissistic sociopaths or the malignant narcissist hardly feel remorse. I occasionally feel remorseful though in a way which is self-serving. For instance, I use fake acts of guilt and fake tears, or in some cases, a fake sense of concern to manipulate others to think that I'm remorseful to them when in real sense I may not be. For now, I experience an aversion emotion, focusing on the belief that some of the past events, especially at my childhood and teenage stage, could have changed so that I experience a desired outcome in the future. This is type of counterfactual thinking where I am imagining ways in which my life might have gone differently. Sometimes, counterfactual thinking means appreciation of one's good luck. and also to avoid disaster. In my case, the counterfactual thinking focuses on my disappointments and regretful life, as it involves self-blame and upward comparisons as I focus more on myself. This reflexive exercise has been important for me to understand myself through a reflection of my character. I find that I learn best through reflection on my experience. I think that if I don't reflect on my experience and fail to consciously think on how I can do better, it will be very hard for me to learn anything anytime. This is the point where I find Gibbs reflective circle very useful, as I can use it to make sense of different situations in my life and to understand what I can do better in future. I now realize that my way of thinking has not been logical since it is not based on sound reasoning. I'm ruled by law and what I feel at any given time. By allowing myself to be ruled by my emotions and feelings from moment to moment, I run a risk of having poor judgment and I'm likely to make decisions which are haphazard, hasty, and I'm most likely to be reckless. I'm very hedonistic and I really focus on the bigger picture. I don't think or care how my actions affect lives of others. So, coming down to it, my narcissistic behaviors are illogical to anyone who looks at me critically. However, I always find them as the most logical approach of interacting with the world.